Hey, it's Kaylee. You know me as the Parts Girl, and I work here at PartsEdge. Thanks for following this awesome journey as we highlight thought leaders and trailblazers, share best practices in fixed ops, and cover success stories of how dealers sell more parts and service. This is the PartsEdge podcast with Kaylee Felio. Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. I'm super excited to be interviewing Felicia Barr. Welcome, Felicia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So I have to talk you up a little bit because you are a service director over 3 stores and a commercial building, which is an animal of its own, which we'll get into. And you've been in this role about a year, and you have quite a journey, just kind of where you started and where you are now. So we're going to highlight that, of course. But just tell us what group you're with, where you are, all that good stuff.
So I'm with the Batera Auto Group, and we're located in, Batera Auto Group is in Western Massachusetts and also in Connecticut. But I oversee stores in Western Massachusetts and primarily Chrysler stores.
Okay, fun. Okay, and then tell us, you started as a greeter? Is that how you started?
Yeah, so I started off, I was down in Florida. I moved back to Western Massachusetts, and I just needed a job, and I was going to go back to school. And so I had a friend, he was a general manager at a dealership, and he said, why don't you come work here? And it'll be part-time until you get on your feet and you know what you want to do. So I did that, started off as a service grader, making $9 an hour. And
what year was that, or how long ago was that?
That was in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came in and never left, it sounds like.
Yeah, they say the dealership's like the mob. Like once you get in, you never get out. And that is my experience. So I just started off. I didn't know anything about cars. Didn't really like cars per se. I never thought in my life I would be in automotive. It wasn't something I was super interested in. And I got in, and another thing is I never realized how many jobs there were in a dealership. I just thought people sold cars and then people fixed cars. Like I didn't know all of the other positions and basically all of the room for growth in automotive. I had no idea.
So it sounds like that's what you kind of fell in love with, because it's like you didn't really like cars, you didn't really know like that much about them. It wasn't like you're like, oh, I'm gonna go work for a dealership. It was just kind of this opportunity that then you saw all the opportunities, and here you are, service director after how many years? That's 12 years. Did I do that?
Yeah, coming up on 13.
13 years.
Yeah, okay. Crazy.
Yeah. So what did you actually like when you first started, or as you saw the opportunities? What did you fall in love with, or what did you really enjoy?
I would say when I first started, I was very intimidated because I didn't know a lot about vehicles. I started to fall in love with obviously the new products. I thought it was very cool. And the relationship that people have with their vehicles, how important it really is. I guess I never had a value in it because I didn't know. But without a vehicle, you can't get to work. You can't pick up your kids from school. I mean, you need it. It's a necessity in life. And seeing that and seeing how important it was to people, that intrigued me. And I think I also was intimidated because customers and service were very like rough. And, I worked in a truck center. So it was, they could be like hostile at times. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I don't know how I would deal with that. And to be honest, that's one of my favorite parts of my job, or especially when I was a service advisor, was bringing a customer that was up to here back down to like normal. And really good at that. And I liked it. I fell in love with the relationships with people and with customers. I started to meet people because I was a service greeter. I was the first person they would see. So I could tell if they were mad, and I'd be like, hi, I'm Felicia, welcome to Metro Jeep. And they would just smile back. And so I just started to get to know people, and I would look at their cars and see if they had a car seat or if they had a sticker of a football team or whatever it was. And I just tried to build relationships with people. And I guess that's what I loved. I love working with people, and that was like the highlight of my days in the beginning was and learning stuff, right? I didn't even know what a VIN number was. The first time they sent me out and they said, we need you to get the VIN and the mileage. It was a service advisor. And I remember going outside, and I sat there for like almost 10 minutes. I was like, what is the VIN number? It's not the license plate number. I had no idea. And eventually, I think it was a technician that came out and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I have no idea what a VIN number is, and I'm scared to tell them." And it was a big lesson for me. I realized like it's okay to ask for help. And yeah, so I know a lot. I know what VIN numbers are now for sure.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
but it was a nice, it was humbling, but I was able to learn a lot. I didn't have a lot of pressure to know everything right away.
Mhm.
So that was great. And I had really good people around me that wanted me to learn.
I think that's what's awesome about the car business is you don't have to know everything. I mean, I guess that's with any industry, but I've really only worked in this industry and I just from what I see is like you don't have to know everything and you can learn and you can ask questions and then you find the right people because there are people that are just a-holes and will just be like, "What? You don't know that?" It's like you don't want to work for those people. So, that's
No.
really cool that you had that experience and you're able to learn. Now with your new role, like what is it about I mean, it's shifted so much over I'm sure like going from service manager to director seeing overseeing stores what are you I guess I'm trying to think of the good question to ask you. Like, what are you learning the most about this role and what are you enjoying the most? What's challenging?
So, yeah, so where I started off as a greeter, I moved up to a service advisor and then I was a service manager. So I was at the same store for almost over 10 years, let's say 10,
Wow.
11 years, right? So I
Yeah.
never went to another store. I'm still at that store currently. I still oversee that store. But so I think the biggest thing in my role now is going to other stores, even though they're in my dealer group, they're ran differently, right? There's different people, there's different camaraderie. They don't know me. So that was the hardest thing at first was walking into a new store, new technicians, new advisors, new manager, and being like, okay, now I'm your boss. So you need to do what I'm telling you to do. And so learning how to take different approaches, and learning that every store is a little bit different. And I think that's what makes it special in its own way. So in the beginning, it was a lot of like comparing, well, that's not what we do. And so I learned that in still learning, I have to treat every situation differently. Like I treat everybody the same, well, fairly, but I might come at them differently, right? Everyone can be managed differently. So it's just learning how to one, manage my time. That's been a huge thing. Just juggling from where I need to be at for how long, splitting my time, my resources, and I think that was the hardest thing. I was like, okay, now it's not just the same people I've known for 10 years, right? Like, yes, I brought new players in, but I've been with the same people for quite a bit. And that was my home, right?
Mhm.
I had my home at
And it's
home and
almost
my
like
home at
your
work.
baby in a
Yeah,
way.
literally, I was
Like,
25 when I started there. So it
yeah,
is my baby. It's like
yeah,
literally my baby. I grew up there. So,
yeah.
and to go into other stores, that was difficult at first. And then I realized I think I was maybe a little fearful, right? Like, what are they going to think of me, being a woman and, you know, a
So
little
like
bit, I'm
self
not as
kind
young
of
as I
self
was. Yeah.
doubt a little bit. Yeah. Or
Not as, yeah, self doubt. And then, I'm not as young as I was when I started, but I still feel young. But no,
isn't that
everything's been great.
hard? I relate to that. Some people are like, "Who are you to, like, know this kinda like,
Mhm.
challenge me a little bit," and, like but
Yeah.
it's just, like, I feel like the age or experience shouldn't matter in a way because it's like all of our levels of experience, if you can just have a conversation and, like, learn from each other, then you can it's not I don't know what I'm trying to say. Do you understand what I'm trying to
No,
say?
I do. Because when I first came into the industry, I remember going to like Chrysler training and, people would stand up and be like, I have 22 years of experience. And I remember being like, I have 1 year. And people being like, good luck. That was always a thing. And I feel like too, in my area, there's a lot of, it's not too common to see somebody stay at the same dealer group for a long time. There's a lot of like dealer hoppers and go from this
Dealer
dealership to that
hoppers.
dealership. And
That's new.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I love
dealer hoppers. So we say out here. That the fact that I didn't do that, it was just I always got that like negative connotation, like good luck. And so I think I've always felt like, oh, but now I feel way more comfortable in my skin and what I'm capable of doing, that I realize that it doesn't matter how much time you have in the business, because everybody, the person with 2 years can bring something to the table, and the person with 40 years can bring something to the table. Like we can all work together. And that's the most beautiful thing, really.
Yeah, it really is. I and that's really what I was trying to say is like 1 year, 40 years, however many years, it's all about
Yeah.
perspective and just being
Mhm.
able to hear that what other people are sharing and then like not be like, "Oh, this is how I always do it and this is the only way to do it." It's like,
Yeah.
no.
Remaining
And what
teachable is huge.
remaining teachable, yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
one. Other than time, how did you was there any things that you applied to your day to make you feel more confident and more like, I do know what I'm doing and I do, have value to add to this.
Yeah. So when I first got in the position, I was kind of thrown in at it. So I took over the
That's
store
normal.
and yeah. And the manager was on vacation and they had one advisor. The other advisor just like quit and then the manager didn't come back from vacation because then they had a medical thing. So I was like at the store level on the counter writing customers. And I was like, what did I sign up for? This is not what it was supposed to be like. I don't know what I thought it was going to be like, but so it was actually a gift because they saw me working and they saw me in the element. So it wasn't like me telling them what to do. They know that I'm doing it as well, right? I knew what I was talking about because I sold that job for them, right? I sold the upsell for them. I was able to understand what they were saying. And that's a big thing I think with technicians is they don't want you to waste their time and they want to feel valued and understood, right? And they want to make hours, right? So if you are selling work for them,
It's a good
they
relationship.
love you. They love
Yeah.
you. That's a relationship, right? They want you to respect them and they want to make hours. I mean, that's the whole thing. So they saw that. So I think when I did that for, that week and then like coming back and forth, I kind of was like, you know what? I do know what I'm doing. Like I can do this. And when the store started to kind of turn, I started to feel a lot more confident. And in the midst of all of this, we were opening down the street a commercial building. So that was my time management was probably not the best at home. And I'm grateful for my family and my husband who kind of helped me with that because I have young kids. But yeah, so that was hard just because I'm, moving technicians from one store to start this commercial building and I'm moving, a bunch of Amazon vans and I'm trying to get all the business and I don't want it to fall in the face because I'm ordering new lifts and all this new equipment, and spending a ton of money.
Yeah.
So the pressure was on, but I definitely
How long
thrive
ago
in
was that?
here. Yeah.
How long ago was that when you guys opened that?
The commercial building has been open for a year now.
Oh, wow, okay, so this is fresh of, like, doing all of that, and your kids are you have 4 if I remember correctly, or did I get that
I
wrong?
have three. It's okay.
3, okay.
Unless you count my husband as the fourth, but
Well,
he'd be
yeah,
so
we gotta
excited.
count them sometimes.
But no, he's amazing. But
Yeah,
I have a 20-year-old and then I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
that's right, okay, I was
So
remembering the 2 smaller ones, so
oh yeah, they keep me on my toes for sure.
yeah.
Like, definitely.
And then they're young, and then you started that, and then yeah, it's a lot to manage, I can relate to that, just doing multiple roles and, trying to keep up and be present as a mom
Yeah.
and not
It
being
is
like
hard. But
yeah.
what I noticed too that they see is like a strong woman. Like they'll always say, oh, my mom is the best. And I mean, obviously kids always say that kind of stuff, but she has her store and, they've come to events that I do in the community, for charity and like Jeep events, car shows, stuff like that. So they get to see it and they know the value of hard work at such a young age because they know that I'm always working. And so is their father. So they know, you have to work.
I always ask, is your significant other in the business or is it completely different?
So he is. And we did not meet in the business, though. We met outside of the business. And
Same.
so all
Yeah.
of our friends were like, you guys are like an automotive couple. And it's funny because we both really like didn't care for cars. I mean, I love them now, but it wasn't like a thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, he's in wholesale for aftermarket parts.
that's
So
right, yeah. So he
yeah,
runs
he works for Parts Authority.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
he
so
used to
cool.
own his family owned a business, and so did he as well, Barco Automotive, and then they've sold to Parts Authority. So now he's kind of overseeing the Northeast, and
And you
he's
guys
very
didn't meet
busy.
in the business? You guys, like,
No,
go
not at all. We met through friends, and I remember I didn't even work at the dealership when we first started
oh, okay.
dating, and then I started like 3 months, and I don't know. And now we're like, yeah,
That's so cool. I
I
relate
talk
to that too.
nervous, he talks farts, and that's just how it works.
I totally relate to that. I remember that when we first talked, we had so much in
Yeah.
common, like young kids. My husband's a parts manager, and we did not meet in the business. We like met in high school. So
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
oh man, that's so cool. And so you do a lot of stuff with the community, which I really love. So tell me more about, because I really feel like that's kind of, well, you obviously are passionate about your role, but like that's another passion that you really have is like, and that I think that's what I love about dealerships is they get so involved in their communities and do so much in bringing people together. And that's what
Yeah.
everyone really wants, especially this time of year. So
Oh,
tell me
yeah,
more. What do you do?
absolutely. So I do work with a local charity around here. It's called Unbroken Wings, and we do donate a lot of money to Bay State Children's Hospital. So we do that through car shows, through we do this huge, it's like a big festival, like concert, and we do a Jeep run, which starts at the dealership. So all people with Jeeps come, they decorate their Jeeps. It's during 4th of July. So you do like a, American flags, all the whole nine. And we basically do like a Jeep convoy from the dealership to the festival, and that raises some good money. We just did a toy for tots. So we had over 500 toys and there was like 57 bags. So it really, this community that we're in, I think there's so many people willing to give and they kind of all just work together. I mean, we've even worked with other dealerships that are not, that technically are competitors, but we all kind of come together, raise money for that. And it is a lot of work, but it's been fun because my kids have also like made bracelets, like the little friendship bracelets and sold them to raise money. So it's always like a highlight in the midst of everything. Like while I'm planning, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. But then the day of, I'm like, I'm so grateful. This is so amazing. It's like a
Yeah.
cycle like that. But
I
that's definitely something I love to do for sure.
Yeah. Well, and it really, like you said, bringing your kids, involving your kids so they see like all the work you're doing and getting involved in the community and raising money and just being aware of that. Like my kids are a little bit younger too, and well, the 6-year-old, but I feel like with the 6-year-old right now, I'm like, oh, you have to teach them like how, like that you can't buy presents all for yourself. Like you have to give.
Yeah.
Like that's
Oh,
a
I
thing.
know. Trust me. I totally can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm like, "Oh my god, I have a spoiled little brat." Like,
No,
what
they're
can I
all a
do?
little spoiled and that's okay. They're children and young, so they feel like they're kind of spoiled. But then
Yeah,
they'll learn for sure.
they'll learn, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just and then I realized too, I'm like, "Oh, I'm the spirit of Christmas." Like, I have to
Yeah.
yeah, like, I was being so grinchy because I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's so, like, not giving." And I'm like, "What did I do?" But going back to that, like, getting involved in the community, showing, like, donating, it's yeah, that brings it all together,
Yeah,
so
and I do a lot with we do a lot of co-ops, and so that was something that about I would say 6 years ago. Yeah, so right around COVID, um like right after that, I had a bunch of technicians leave the business and I was left with 4 technicians.
and just
And
so everyone knows, how many did you have? And, like, how
I
many
had 10.
and you
I
were
had
left with
10.
4?
So I lost like 6 technicians with it. And this was like probably like 2022, right around there, 21, 22. And I remember thinking, and we all, I shouldn't say we all, I was part of the dealership, like take a tech from this dealer, take a tech from that dealer. And like a lot of times you get them with like bad habits or bad attitude, and it just never worked. So we were at kind of like a turning point, and I always heard like, oh, don't do co-ops. The kids don't want to learn. They're on their phone all the time. It's a waste of time. And I was like, you know what do we have to lose? We have nothing to lose. So right around that time, I reached out to some vocational schools in our area and got a couple kids that did their co-op here. And I have not turned back. It's been one of the best decisions and the best advice I could give to anybody is to get involved in the local schools and start creating your own employees, your own culture. And now I have technicians that I've had since they were 16 years old, and they
Those
have
are
been with me for 3 years. They are certified diesel level 3 technicians, in the Chrysler world, and
and
they are
what a life.
thriving.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
what a like they're so young and they're, like,
Yeah.
set up. The other there's some groups out there that have and you probably heard of it, they have their own, like, school within their dealership for,
Mhm.
you know, training and, I think Bozard does it, um, right? Bozard for yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
think Western does it. I
That's true,
think
yes. Yeah, I
yeah,
interviewed him. They
that
have
was like, I mean, what a dealer group, I must
yeah,
say. Wow.
yeah.
I met a gentleman from there and was just like listening to what they have and what they do for their employees, the community,
Oh, yeah.
and co-op like training. I was like, wow. So definitely, and that's what I love also with communicating with other dealerships. I met him at a 20 group and I've never went to one of those. That was amazing as well, and just like getting different feedback from other people. Like I don't know everything. So it's nice to communicate with people who have either more time in the business or even less, but that are doing different things.
Different. Well, and they're located differently. That's what I love about the 20 groups because 'cause you're in the store, you're just, like, you're doing your stuff. When you go out, you could hear, like, "Oh, that's what's going on for them," and yeah. So, do you
Dude,
prioritize that? Do you at least do 1 a year, or, like, how do you do that?
so I went to my first 20 group a couple months ago. But prior to that, I never went. I go to guild meetings, which are Chrysler dealers from, and I go to the Connecticut one. So I'm like Western Mass. So I see dealers from Connecticut, some also in Massachusetts. So I get to hear what they're doing and like, but it's very Chrysler oriented. So that's always been super helpful. And I've been doing that for a couple years now. And I think that's important to do. I know that I've heard like some dealer groups don't want to send their people because they don't want to lose them. So I am grateful that, my owners let me do those
I
things
don't
because
think
I
like
feel like
that.
that's where you learn. Yeah. And that's kind of like an old school, I think, mentality. Like,
It
don't let
totally
them.
is. Well, and really, it's like you want people to steal your people. It's like that's how you know you have good people,
Yeah. Right.
and it's a compliment.
Yeah. But don't steal my pets. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but don't talk to my text.
I'm not kidding. But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
No, it
Um,
is a compliment, I think, for sure.
yeah, it really is. And I really do love when I hear dealerships, like, get involved in the schools and just I just think it shares the opportunity of the car business that, like, in school, I would have never thought to go into the car business. I mean, we had body shop, but, like, I don't know, it wasn't really, like, taught that there's dealership opportunity. Yeah.
I had no idea. And so a lot of these schools in our area, they do such a good job. One of the schools, Pathfinder, is incredible. It's like a real shop and they have their students like order the parts. Like they have parts. We actually got, you'll love this. And I think your husband would too. So a student, he's been with us now 3 years, same thing. And he came in from and started working in parts. So he did his co-op in our parts department. He's a parts advisor now. And he's amazing, but they have them call and price out their jobs. And so they're showing them that there's different positions in the dealership, like in the fixed off side that you can do besides just being a technician.
Yeah.
And I think
Or
a lot of
I
people just
honestly
think that.
wait, sorry, I interrupted you. Finish your
No, I
thought.
was saying, I think a lot of people just think that that's all that there is, but there's so many other positions.
Yeah, like just being a tech, they think that's all
Mhm.
there is. Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. Shoot. Oh, just I've always heard that there's been quite a few techs that go into parts and it's like I think that's like the best scenario in some ways. There
Yeah.
could be some flaws in that because most
Mhm.
the whole thing is like techs want you the parts department to be the depot, and it's like you really can't. But
Mhm.
um yeah, I think it takes, like, being really detailed and, like, you do kinda have to understand mechanically, like, how parts work together,
Yep.
and you just learn over time. It's not you don't have to know it to start, but yeah. So,
Mhm.
what was I gonna ask you? There's so many questions. It's been so fun talking to you too because I just
I know.
love
I love it.
having a conversation. Well, because it's a parts podcast, I always like to throw in some parts stuff. So,
Yeah.
how like tell me about just kind of how because I feel like fixed is fixed. Like parts and service is one. That's the best way to
Mhm.
think of it and talk about it. It's not separate. Well, it is, but you know what I mean. Um, in your perspective, like how do you kind of get everyone together and working in sync? Because it's historically, it's like, well, do you ever see those memes where, like, the
Yeah.
wrong part's ordered and then, like, the tech is, like, pointing the finger, the service advisor is pointing the finger? I love those videos, but, um, yeah.
I think it's just for me. I always learn because I get along with sales too, which is like crazy. Most people are like, oh no. But for me, we all have to work together, right? Without parts, I can't do my job. And without service, parts isn't going to sell as many parts, right? Unless you're doing a bunch of wholesale, but they need us, right? And the technician needs both of us as well. So it's like this triangle and we have to work together, right?
Yeah,
And so
everyone needs
I
everyone.
always just include like even like when like silly things like we'll get food for the shop, we get food for parts as well. And really I have gained a huge respect for parts because in the commercial building that we open, I'm picking parts. So yeah, I have to look at a parts catalog sometimes, parts locator, star parts. Like I'm getting very familiar with that. And me and the fleet manager here, like, because this building is connected to one of the other stores. So they're kind of, will send a parts person down. But in the beginning, like there was like 6 months where he would come down, but then they would pick tickets and we'd have to go pick the parts. And so learning that was different, but just how much I appreciate having somebody there. Like number one, thank you. And just for their knowledge. I mean, eventually I would love to be in a fixed ops director. And so I'd have to learn everything about parts. But I mean, opening this building, I had a lot of things thrown at me where I had to learn quickly, oh, use this and how to do all that. But I think we all work together because at the end of the day, and it's the same with everything in any kind of job, but you could point the finger and like people say there's three pointing back at you, right? But why look at it like half empty? Like we all have to work together. We might as well get along. I'm going to need you every single day. I have to talk to you multiple times. I mean, I call constantly. Is that this part here? Or what's the ETA? Did you put in a VOR? All these things, right? So it's like, why not help each other? I don't know. I think that's the thing where I'm very good at is I make sure everyone feels appreciated. And I don't know if that's like the mom in me or whatever, but I always will go and talk to them. How are you doing? And then I always hear people say like, well, it's parts. It's their job to get the parts. It's like, well, yeah, it's also your job to fix the car, but I'm not telling you to go fix the car, right? So why are we talking to people like that? It's all on, I may say the same thing as somebody else, but my delivery, I'm really good at that where, you know, and not every day am I, but I try to deliver it with just a little bit, nicer, softer tone, or like,
Yeah.
hey, have you found that part? Or when you get a minute, can you let me know when this is going to be here?
Not like
That's so much
you
differently. Yeah.
yeah.
Where's that
And
part?
yeah, where's the part? It's like you're telling them they suck at their job and and
And
that's
then
like
the parts are going to be ordered wrong. It's either the technician did it wrong, the advisor did it wrong, or the parts advisor did it wrong. Like, or the person that shipped the part put the wrong part in the box. I mean, that happens. I mean, who cares? I think it's more about like, okay, we have the wrong part. Now what do we do?
yeah, and
Who
how can we
cares
change
what happened?
yeah, and how can we change the process to make sure it doesn't happen? Like, who cares whose fault it is? Let's figure out how to make this better. And yeah, like what
Yeah.
wasn't communicated.
Yeah.
Because
Like we
I
can
think
figure that all out now, but let's get the right part
yeah,
and then we can fix the process. And I mean, it's water under the bridge at this point. We have the wrong part.
yeah,
Customer's going to be mad. I have to talk to the customer. Just get me the right part, right? Let's figure it out together. And that's it. No big deal. Let's work together. We don't need a
I know.
break.
That's the biggest thing. "You ordered the wrong
Mhm.
part." "No, it was your fault."
Mhm. And sometimes it is. I mean, we use
Yeah,
Reynolds in advanced service, so we have memos. So sometimes, the technician is right and he put, I need this, and the parts advisor didn't see it. It's a mistake. We all make mistakes, and sometimes he didn't put it in the memo. So the parts advisor ordered what he was supposed to order, or the
yeah,
parts manager, or whoever it is. So it's like, I don't know. For me, I need results. So I really just don't care at that moment. Like, let's just get the right part. Who cares who made the mistake? Like, let's try
yeah,
to not do it again.
yeah,
Read the memo. We have processes in place. Something was skipped. Let's try to not do it again. Go from
yeah.
there.
I know, it's so funny. I love that you had to help with the commercial and, like, do more of the parts, and then, like, just really seeing the catalog and all. Because I just don't think people realize how complicated it can be. It's not as simple as just ordering. You have to really, like it's very detailed.
Oh yeah, it's not just a part. It's like, oh, there's a gasket with a part. There's a nut that you need, and there's like, oh my god, this screw has to be changed, and I
Yeah.
do obviously warranty, so it's. I mean, if you
Oh,
don't have
yeah,
that nut, those two nuts, when you did that transmission, they're charging you back for the transmission. So to make sure that you get that, it doesn't always say that when you're ordering the part.
mm-mm.
So it's
Yeah.
it's a
Wouldn't
lot.
you wouldn't you say, like, would it be pretty helpful for parts to understand the warranty process? Because I feel like sometimes they don't know as much. I mean, I know they get some of them. It just depends on the dealership, but would that be, like, helpful, or is that part of your guys' process? Like, do your parts people understand, like,
Yeah, I mean, well, here we're lucky because they've been with Chrysler for a while. But if we hire somebody new, I'm not sure. I'm miss. I know at the Metro store, my parts manager will like go over all that with them because they need to know,
yeah, they do.
that this has to be covered. And through our SVG system, a lot of the stuff it tells you, as long as the technician uses SVG and it gets sent over correctly, then they'll know what parts it needs because it's automatically built in per warranty. It's all like set.
So,
But
yeah.
there are times where, if they, for warranty purposes, like you have to use a remanufactured part, not a new part. Sometimes they don't look.
Mm,
Guess what? They're going to eat the difference. No one
yeah.
likes to eat anything.
No
No
one
one wants it to go to their policy. That's like the biggest thing. I'm like, it's not mine. Like, that's yours. But that's when you fight. That's when we fight.
Hey, that's how it is, though. You can't learn if you
Yeah.
don't eat it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, man. Well, it's been so much fun talking to you. Is there anything
Yeah.
that you wanna, add to wrap up? Anything you're super excited about for this next year? Yeah,
Well, we're speaking together. I'm very nervous, but I'm very excited.
I am
We're
too. I'm
doing
so
that. I know. I've never even been to NADA, so I'm very excited. I don't know, like I'm very excited. I'm nervous. I'm kind of like, why did they ask me? Like, I don't.
Well, Felicia, Gretchen loves you, and you are. I'm so glad she put. I've seen you, and we've been involved in like groups, and then she told me you were part of it. I was like, I know her, and I'm like, I should interview her on my podcast. I need like someone. But I'm so excited about that. So, let's talk about that just a little bit. So it's a women. What is the event called? I can't even remember.
Women driving vehicle retail.
That's right.
Women driving vehicle retail. Yes, that's what it is.
That's what it is. And
You're gonna be there, right? You're with me. Thank God.
yeah. Well, and I'm excited to be up there with a group because I spoke at NADA, but it was by myself, and it was so terrifying. I was like, I think I had 45 minutes. I finished in like 22. I was like, and then I was done.
Well, I get that. I think I would do the same thing. I'm glad it's not by ourselves, but I'm excited. I mean, I don't know yet what we're talking about, but
I
I'm
think
sure it'll be amazing.
yeah, it's gonna be amazing. Just how we are and what we do and all the fun stuff. So it's gonna be really awesome. And I love that NADA is hosting it. And then as far as this your first year going to NADA, everyone says just look at the map and have a plan.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be
That's what I was
walking.
gonna ask you.
Yeah, you're gonna be walking and you're just gonna get pulled in so many different directions because you're just gonna run into people that you know, and you're not gonna even realize you're like, "Oh, I do know that person." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, look at the map, have a plan because I'm sure there's vendors, partnerships that you wanna stop and see or new stuff you might wanna see. Like, that's
Yeah.
your opportunity to really see, and you get to like, you're a dealer, so you get to win cool stuff. Like, all the booths, they give away cool stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like,
I'm excited.
I think April Simmons won a Louis Vuitton bag.
Really?
Yeah, I
Now
forgot
we're talking my language. I will be there. Wherever booth that is, sign me up.
I will find out the deal or the company. I wanna say
That's amazing.
I don't wanna say the wrong one, but I'll tell you.
Okay. All right. Let me know. Very
Alright,
cool.
thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.